Hey, LeBron, I wanted to see if you could just talk about your connection to FAMU and what you hope today's events do for awareness for HBCUs.
Well, my connection obviously is deep rooted with Nike and the partnership and the relationship they had with FAMU over the years. And I've always wanted to be in support of HBCU schools. So the opportunity came about with FAMU and I jumped right on it. And it's a prestige institution, great school, great campus, great kids, great lineage, and great history. So, it fit perfectly and I'm happy to be a part of that program.
Thank you.
All right, next up, Tim Reynolds with AP, please.
Hey, LeBron, good to see you.
What's going on, Tim?
I wanted to ask your reaction to the news from a couple hours ago that Joe and Ben aren't going to be able to go tonight. How concerning is that for you? And I guess do you still? I know obviously you're there, but did you have reservations about coming in the end?
Well, I think it's very unfortunate that Joel and Ben won't be able to play in our game tonight. Obviously, they're two worthy all-stars, and this means a lot to all of us. Even no matter how you feel about having to be here. For me, it's still the same for me. Obviously, I love our league, and I love playing the game of basketball at the highest level and doing what I love to do. But I just think under these circumstances of what we're going through, still with the pandemic and everything with this season, I just thought, we could have looked at it a little bit differently. But that's out of my hands. It's, I only can control what I can control, and I'm here, representing Team LeBron. But obviously, something like that happening is something that we all thought, could possibly happen. And I hate the fact that Joel and Banner will not be able to play today because of that. So, best wishes to them, obviously, even though they're not the ones who tested positive, but with the contract tracing and all that mess. So, but we're here.
Thank you, Bron.
Appreciate you.
Okay, Dave McMenamin, please.
Hey, LeBron, how are you?
I'm good, Dave. What's up?
Hey. So about the league partnership with More Than a Vote, and if you could tell me what that means to you to have that idea be sparked early on in the summertime and everything that organization has been able to accomplish in the months that has followed.
Yeah, I think it's just been a great thing that we've been able to do with More Than a Vote. Continue to highlight and continue to educate people on what's going on in a lot of our communities with the voter suppression and things of that nature. And obviously, making sure that people don't think that the job is done. The work is not completed, is never completed, even if you have a victory. It's never completed. And, we just wanted people to know that even with the election that happened, and obviously it happened in a lot of our favor in November, that there's still more there's still more work to be done. And that's what we're continuing to do now, especially here in the Georgia area, especially here in Atlanta with Stacey Abrams and that group. Just continuing to highlight how votes in our Black communities are trying to be taken away. So, it's a great thing that we've been able to do, but we want to continue that. We want to continue to educate and continue to, enlighten people on what's going on in our communities so we can better our communities. That's the most important thing.
Okay, Mark Medina, please.
Hey, LeBron, good to see you. With the 1-year anniversary approaching with the season shutdown, I was wondering, how do you remember how you processed the play-by-play of that week of first the idea of games being played without fans, and then what happened in OKC, that game, and then, the league ultimately shutting it down?
Yeah, it was just it was a wild week for our team, to be honest. We had just, I believe we had just played Milwaukee. We played the Clippers. We lost a heartbreak game versus the Nets, and we were gearing up to play Houston on that Thursday at home. So, it was a, pretty good week for us, and we were really starting to hit our stride as a team, our first year together, first time with our new coaching staff. And then when we seen the events that happened in OKC, it was just so you didn't know really what to think. It's the first time it's ever happened in any of one of our major sports leagues. So to see it happen, you knew at that point that it would trickle down to everyone else. And you was hoping, you was wishing for the best, but you kind of knew that the inevitable was going to happen. So we just kind of stayed patient and just waited till we got the call. And we was hoping that it would only be a couple weeks, or, you know, it shut down for a little bit. We get a handle over this thing. And obviously, you know, that was being way too optimistic. So, you know, we just took it. We just took it as a league, took it as players, coaches, everyone, organizations. It was just very difficult and challenging for all of us, because it's just, you know, something that we never experienced before.
Okay, Joe Barden, please.
Hey, LeBron.
What's going on, Joe?
Hey, man. Hey, kind of along the lines of of pandemic stuff. As far as I know, I don't think you've ever gotten it, and it seems like you haven't even been caught up in a contract tracing, anything like that. So I'm just curious what you have done to avoid all of that. Not only not getting sick, but not even, you know, the contract tracing stuff, all that.
I think it's all luck, man. I can't sit here and tell you I'm an expert on this whole thing. It's just luck. I mean, you have no idea. I mean, how you can possibly contract it or how you can get it. I mean, we know the cases, we know the studies, we hear the doctors and things of that nature, but I've just tried to follow protocol as much as it's been laid out to us. I go to the facility and I go home. Then I go to the arena and I go home, you know, with my family. But, you don't know. I mean, I got kids, you know, I got kids that, you know, go to school at times. Sometimes the schools are open, sometimes they're not, but you don't know. They could bring some things home. You don't know. So, you know, it's just all in the faith of the man above. And then just trying to, you know, I try to stay clean and try to get my sleep. I think that helps. I think that helps with any illness, just getting, you know, your optimal rest, you know, keeping your body as fresh as possible and keeping a clear head about it all. But I just part of luck. I can't sit here and say that I'm a Ghostbuster when it comes to COVID, because I'm not. You know, I just try to follow the protocol. That's all.
Okay, Dan Woike, please.
COVID Ghostbuster sounds like that could be the next movie. That's good. I like it. LeBron, this is probably a really basic question, but AllStar Weekend is usually such a highlight for the league, a highlight for its players to see each other, go out, have a good time. How stark is the contrast? I mean, obviously I'm here, I'm not there. What's it like there? Does it feel like anything close to an AllStar game?
No, not really. I mean, you get excited about this weekend because you know you're gonna play the game if you're, you know, a part of the game, but you get to do so many events. You can do the All-Star Saturday nights. You can, you know, you have the host of the events that you have, partnerships with Nike I've been accustomed to being with, able to do some evening events, get out into the city and explore some of the cities, and just have a really good time, have your family in town. You know, just have a weekend of just like extreme fun. And, you know, we have everyone in town that one weekend, including you guys. I mean, like you said, you're not even here. And it's unfortunate that this is when everyone in basketball, the world comes to one city and we all enjoy. And I guess, you know, we all really sit back and be like, wow, this is what this game has built. You know, this is a beautiful weekend from all walks, on the floor and off the floor. So to be sitting in my room, isolated, you know, just with no one, you know, my family's not here, I'm by myself. It's just different, just to say the least, you know, compared to previous years, that's for sure.
Okay, Jim Ozarki from Journal Sentinel, please.
LeBron, out here in Milwaukee, we talked to Giannis this morning, and he said if there was one thing he could take or learn from you and your career is your day-to-day, year-to-year consistency and how to do that. He said it's a dream of his, I guess. I guess in that vein, do you see a parallel to a degree in that the walls that teams want to build for him to stop him from the rim, maybe forcing him to change his game? I think you dealt with that a little bit earlier in your career around that same age. I don't know. Is there something there? And is that something you think is next, I guess, in terms of a guy like him reaching consistency, if you will, and something like that? Thank you.
Well, let's not get it twisted. I mean, the kid is consistent. every single night. I mean, he's putting up close to 30. He's giving you double-digit rebounds. He's giving you 4.5, 5 assists a game, a couple blocks, a couple steals. So don't know how much more consistent you want a guy to be. But I think for me, you know, as far as longevity, just being available, one thing I've always taken pride of, just being available for my teammates, you know, every night. And, you know, and that comes with a lot of long hours of, you know, committing to your body, committing to your mind and things of that nature. And I think it's, we all know how, you know, Giannis wants to be great. And the great ones figure out a way to continue to improve. And it's just that simple. And there's no doubt in my mind that he will continue to improve his game, continue to expand his game as he goes along his journey. So, you know, I don't see him not continuing to get better. And that's a scary thing to say because he's already so dominant in our league.
Okay, Andrew Lopez, please.
Hey, LeBron, it's Andrew from ESPN here. Wanted to ask you something just about alley-oops, working on something. To you, what makes a good alley-oop a great alley-oop? And then as a passer, where are you looking when you throw them? Are you looking to a certain spot? Are you trying to figure out who you're throwing it? Like, what goes into that for you?
Well, to answer your first part of the question, what makes a good alley-oop I think the worst passes are some of the best alley-oop finishes because it challenges the guy who's receiving it to actually, you know, contort his body, maybe jump a little higher than he wanted to, you know, stretch out his wingspan and actually come down with it and able to finish either with the left hand or the right hand. I've been fortunate enough to be a part of some bad alley-oops that's turned out great. And, you know, and I've seen a lot of them on some highlight tapes, things of that nature. That's pretty cool. For me as the passer, I'm always looking at the second line of defense, you know, in a half court situation, because there's always a bottom guy or someone that's ready to come over and try to help on a lob or a pass, things of that nature. So want to put my offensive player in the right position where all he has to do is go up and go get it. But on the break, you know, most of the time it's just a 2-on-1, or if it's a slow, like a drag or a slow break, you kind of just reading the line of defense. And I just throw it up there kind of to the, sometimes to the corner of the backboard or right in front of the rim, depending on my angle, where my recipient just has to go up and do what he wants, uses his athleticism to finish it home. So it's been pretty cool to be on both sides of the fences, though, to be able to throw them and also receive them.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. We're going to go with Mark Narducci, please.
Hey, LeBron, you had a condensed off season and now condensed first half and a second half where you're playing a lot of games in a short time. Is there a concern about that, not only for yourself but for your fellow NBA players?
I mean, there's no concern for me. I just try to I continue to put my body in the best condition to be able to endure anything. Shorten off season, shorten regular season, short break, all-star break. You know, I just try to, you know, it's all about my mind personally, you know, keeping my mind mentally sharp, keeping my mind mentally fresh and going about that. To speak for my fellow colleagues, I don't want to do that because, you know, everyone has a voice. But I just hope everyone stays safe, listen to their bodies, because it is definitely taxing. This is an extreme season coming off the season in which we had last year. So guys have to listen to their bodies and listen to their minds. And so, you know, that's what it boils down to.
Okay, we're going to go with Shaquem Muhafiz from Morehouse College.
Yes, hi. This is Shaquem Muhafiz from the Maroon Tiger. The question I want to ask you: when was it a point in your career that you saw the importance of HBCUs?
It's always been important. You know, just for me, just growing up in the inner city, and then learning about it as the years went on and on as I've been a professional. You know, seeing, you know, just the support or the lack thereof for a lot of HBCU schools. You know, so it's always been important. Just want to, you know, get a hand on it, but do it right. I think timing is everything. You know, and you don't want to force a lot of things. You want to make sure it's organic. You want to make sure it's right. You want to make sure the timing is right. The platform is there so we can highlight it more than just, you know, giving money. I think, you know, given the support and given the structure and given the resources, is just as valuable too as the money. So, but it's always been important. I've had a few friends that went to HBCU schools, so they've always talked about it, and it's always been, something that's been in my mind for sure.
Thank you.
Okay, Mark Haynes with Clutch Points, please.
Hey, what's up, LeBron? Mark Haynes from Clutch Points. You've been in AllStar Game and AllStar Weekend many times. Wanted to see what special memories do you have from your very first AllStar Game?
Well, my very first AllStar Game, I believe, was in Denver, if I'm not mistaken. And one, it was cold as hell, but that was okay because I'm from Ohio, so I was used to that. Secondly, it was the first time that I shared the floor with all the guys I had put up on my wall when I was growing up. I used to get the Slam magazine and the Sports Illustrated and Sports Illustrated for Kids, and I would tear out the pages in those magazines and I would tape them on my wall at my apartment at Spring Hill, in my apartment with my mother. And that was the first moment where I shared the floor with pretty much all those guys that was on my wall, besides like MJ, and a couple other guys. Penny Hardaway was on my wall as well. But for the majority, a lot of those guys was on my wall, and it was just the awe factor, man. I was like, wow, I can't believe this is real life, because I would wake up every single day in apartment 602 at 1180 Rentar Lane in Akron, Ohio, and I would see those guys as inspiration every morning before I went to practice, or before I went to school, or before I went to go play with my boys, or before I just went on the town. So pretty cool moment for me.
Okay, we're just gonna take a few more here. LeBron, we're gonna go with Davide.
Hey, LeBron, Davide from Italy here. I'm asking you about the season with the Lakers and how happy are you with where the things are for the team, and with you back in the MVP discussion, is that of any importance for you?
Well, I mean, obviously we've hit the injury bug as of late, and also with a little, COVID restrictions kept a lot of our guys out. So, but I like where we are. I don't love where we are because we have losses. I mean, if we were 36-0, I'll be fine. But anytime we lose, I don't like it. So, but other than that, I like where we are, and I'm looking forward to the second half of the season. It's going to be extremely fun. Our group is motivated to get back to where we know we need to be. Going down the stretch into the playoffs, and for me personally, it's my job to be the MVP every night for our ball club, and in order to help us win basketball games. So that's always been my motto since I came into the league.
Thank you.
Okay, Naveen, please.
Hey LeBron, I was just wondering if you could share any all-star stories you have with Kobe, and if you've been thinking about him lately, considering that the All-Star Game, a lot of memories have Kobe involved in it. And also, I was just curious, there's this platform called NBA Top Shot where your moments are the most popular. Have you heard of Top Shot, and are you planning to get into it?
I mean, one, I would like to stay away from the Kobe question. Today is just too emotional for me, and too emotional for our franchise and things of that nature. Obviously, he continues to live on, and every other victim that was on that that tragic day. My heart is with Kobe and Gigi and the family, but I'm like to stay away from that one. Secondly, I have not heard of that, so I'm unaware of it.
Okay, LeBron, we lost your video. I don't know if that was intentional, but there we go. Thank you very much. And we are going to go with just two more questions. Dwayne Rankin, please, with Arizona Republic.
Thank you. Yes, LeBron, before the season, you talked about James Jones and the job he's done with the Suns, but to have the kind of season that they're having, how much should be credited for him for being able to put this roster together and what the Suns have been able to do the first half of the season?
He should get the majority of the credit. And the reason why is because he put that team together, and then he pressed the button to get CP3 to Phoenix. And we all know CP3's resume. When CP3 goes to a team, they automatically becomes a better team. And James Jones pressed that button. I love what he does. First of all, he's a great man, great family man, great person. And he's good, and he's damn good at what he does. And you know, I don't think a lot of people have talked about that. You know, coming into the season of the job that James Jones has done in Phoenix. But he deserves, you know, pretty much all the credit. He hired Monty Williams, you know, made the trade for CP, and they're sitting up in the top of the league with one of the best records. So the proof is in the pudding, as they would say.
Thanks, LeBron.
Yep.
Okay, and last question, we're gonna go to Simone Sondri, please.
Yeah, yesterday Adam spoke about the vaccination program. Obviously, your voice carry a lot of weight on the Player Association and on the NBA in general. Do you plan to get vaccinated as soon as it's available? And do you advise also member of the Players Association to get vaccinated?
That's a conversation you know, that my family and I will have. You know, and pretty much probably keep that to a private thing. Obviously, you know, I've seen, you know, Adam had his comments about, you know, the vaccination and whatnot, but you know, things like that, when you decide to do something, I think that's a conversation between you and your family, and not for everybody. So I'll keep it that way.